Welcome back everyone, I am CrainCraft and this is an unboxing and brief review for the Evercade, a retro portable gaming system made by Blaze Retro that has some pretty interesting twists on this little niche of the gaming market. So grab yourself a cup of joe, settle in, let's talk about the Evercade. Before we get started, go on and brain that like and subscribe button if you like this type of content. I usually produce daily. Remember also that I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch, playing survival games, and you might catch the occasional live stream on YouTube for some overclocking or some hardware. Anyways, stop on by. It's pretty chill and we'd love to have you. So, the Evercade is made by Blaze Retro. They're a retro gaming manufacturer with a long history in gaming, working with companies such as Sega and Neo Geo, so they are steeped, you could say, in retro goodness. Nowadays, Blaze develops retro gaming products, and the Evercade is their most recent entry. Now, what is the Evercade? In short, the Evercade is a handheld retro gaming console, similar in size to the PSP, uses proprietary game cartridges to play fully licensed retro gaming. The pre-order bundle / current bundle is $99 and includes the Evercade itself and 3 game cartridges containing a total of 37 games from 3 different game studios. There's Atari, Data East, and Interplay. The Evercade is well designed and it feels surprisingly sturdy. It's got 4 face buttons, a pair of shoulder buttons, and a surprisingly decent D-pad. The buttons have good feedback and feel nice and sturdy. The Evercade is also a bit chunky, which in this case helps out. It gives it a nice heft, it sits in the hand well, and I'm able to keep a good solid grip on it since it's got some weight to it. The system includes the expected inputs and outputs, including a micro USB charging port, a 3.5 mini jack for headphones, and a mini HDMI output for playing the system on your television if you're looking for a big screen experience to complement your handheld gaming. This HDMI port also works great with an HDMI capture card, and that's what I use to capture the gameplay that you'll see. I used an AverMedia 4K, worked great. Inside, there's a 1.2 GHz Cortex A7 system on a chip, running a customized Linux setup. The 4.3-inch screen delivers a resolution of 480 by 272, just like the PSP, and battery life is listed as 4 to 5 hours, which is pretty consistent with my experience. I ran the battery dry twice during capture, and both times it fell in that range. The system, as I said, does have its own unique twist. It uses proprietary cartridges that have officially licensed retro games on them. Now, this may seem a bit odd to some, but it does have an appeal to retro gamers. Like I said, remember this is a niche product. The cartridges themselves contain not just the game ROMs, but also the emulator code. So the console itself is just hardware. Nothing happens if you turn it on without a cartridge in it, and this brings a huge behind-the-scenes advantage, as this means different encoders can be used in the future. The emulator code itself could be upgraded or tweaked for each release without having to worry about any kind of backwards compatibility or anything else. Unfortunately, there are some drawbacks, and all of these seem to stem from the limited set of options for tweaking the experience. Firstly, the controls. Buttons can't be configured, and not every default setup quite works for me. With NES games, for instance, A and B are mapped to the corresponding buttons where I would typically prefer X and A. Mega Drive / Genesis games also make use of A, B, and Y, which again doesn't feel entirely natural to me. Super NES is fine, of course, but it can be an issue with other platforms. At least some games allow for button and configuration changes. All in all, the Evercade is a great little emulator / portable console if you're into retro gaming or want some quality portable gaming on the cheap. This is definitely going to be cheaper than a Nintendo Switch, for example. If we step back and look at the big picture, though, a lot of this starts to make sense. The Evercade will sell for about $80 with 1 pack-in cartridge, or this $99 version with the 3 pack-in carts, while each cartridge will cost $20 separately. In that sense, they're really targeting a budget price here, so it's easier to forgive a few of the shortcomings. In fact, given the price, the build quality is surprisingly great. That's where this idea of collecting for the system becomes more interesting as well. It's not a huge investment, and it can be kind of fun to collect these carts. This would also be pretty sweet for content creators / streamers who are looking to stream or make retro gaming content. There are an additional 9 volumes of games. There's an Atari Volume 2, an Atari Lynx Volume 1 and 2, Interplay Volume 2, Megacat Studios, a Namco Museum Volume 1 and 2, a Pico Interactive Volume 1, and a Technos Collection Volume 1. There are also 2 other special cartridges supposed to be coming out in Q3 2020. One is Xenocrisis and Tanglewood on a dual game cartridge, and the other one is the Oliver Twins collection cartridge. Well, that's about it for today, everyone. You have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.